All right, welcome back everyone. Doing a lot of projects lately, and one of the things I've been starting to work on is a couple more accessories on the Ventrac. I added the rear work light kit and I aimed it forward, and I could sort of see why the designers at Ventrac made it a rear light kit and not a forward. If you're a contractor doing a lot of things at night, like in snow, with the lights being up here turning around to look behind you, I did notice when I was plowing snow at night, there's a lot of light right here, and it does impact your vision for seeing behind you. For me around the home, it doesn't really matter. I'm tall enough, I can lean back and look, and it really wasn't bothering me too bad. But I could definitely see why Ventrac would have them facing backwards and not forward. So that is one disadvantage to having the lights there. For me, I like having the extra light out front. I think it makes a big difference, but I've come up with a solution. This may be an option for some of you that want extra forward light and rear work lights. So I've been working on this project, and I got this evening off, and tonight I plan on finishing it. So I'm gonna bring you guys along and show you what I've been working on. All right, so I got going on is I bought another LED rear work light kit from Ventrac. And the reason is I really like these LED lights, and the brackets that come with these are all powder coated. They fit the tractor, they're gonna match well. So the reason I bought the kit is because the lights are extremely expensive to buy singly, and I don't believe you can get these pigtails with them. So I'm not gonna use the wiring harness that came with it. I'm not gonna use the switch and the harness for any of that. I might sell that, so if someone wants to add a light kit but they don't want to necessarily buy the Ventrac lights, they want cheaper ones, it might save them some money. But I like the Ventrac lights. They're really good quality, and I'm very happy with them. So I was going to take these connectors off of the wiring harness, but I decided to leave them on so the harness would be intact. And I ended up buying a few more of these connectors. And how I wired this was, I like buying this cord. Anyone that follows the channel, I just wired up the battery box to the sprayer, but a lot of times I'll use this workshop cord. It's 16 gauge 2-wire, so it don't have the ground. And the reason I like that is because a lot of times you don't need the third wire. So it's sometimes hard to find 16-2, but I think I got this one at Menards, and it equals out, comes in 15-foot lengths, but it equals out to less than 80 cents a foot. So small tractors and stuff, I've used this before. I used it on my sprayer to do some wiring before as well. Anywhere I don't want to use a loom, but I want something that looks really nice and can withstand, abrasions and that kind of stuff. So the only downfall to this is, like I said, a 15-foot length. So running it on a trailer or anything longer than that, that's why I usually buy a different wire. Then what I do is I buy these cord clips here, 3/8. They're self-adhesive, and they fit right over these cords, and you can always remove the cord if you need to and snap it back in place. I actually used some of these on the strobe light kit on the back of the Ventrac, just because it held it in a little better and I like the looks of it. So how I wired this, I'm going to try to make this video quick, is I took some of this wire here, this corded wire, I ran it underneath the toolbox to where my existing wiring harness was. Now what I did is, where this pigtail that you'd have to hook up connects into the Ventrac, I connected it to the wiring harness. I didn't connect it to the wiring harness of the tractor, so I didn't have to mess with it. I figured if anything would happen, I had this wiring harness as a backup. But what I use, and I generally do not like using these, is these connectors. And all you do is you put them over the wire, then you add the other wire to it, take pliers, and you just press these together and it folds over. These are really common on trailers and stuff, and like I said, I generally don't like using them connectors, but in this application it was nice because these wires were exposed. I just crimped it over it and then added my wire to it, and I didn't have to like butt splice or cobble up the wiring harness. So if I ever wanted to take this off, I could just pull them off and then just wrap some tape around them and I'd be good to go. So that's that. There was different ways I was going to mount these brackets to roll bar. I was going to use some of that aluminum angle iron, and then I was going to mount these on the angle iron like this, and then mount the light to the top. It looked too cobbled, and it looked like too much going on, so I think what I'm going to do is mount it right to here like this. I'm going to drill a hole in the top of the bracket and mount my light to it. And then for a rear light, like I was discussing, I'm not sure. I might take the two top ones and mount them to the rear and then leave these for the front. It depends when I get this working tonight. If I really like all the added light to the front, I might leave all four on. But in the meantime, I bought another bracket here, and I'm going to take some aluminum angle iron. I'm going to mount that to the strobe beacon bracket. This one's going to mount to that, and then my light's going to hang off the bottom. It's a little hard to explain now. I'll show you when it's all done. And then I'm going to plug that into this here. That's going to go into my rear 12 volt. I'm going to run this wire here down through the tube, so it's all going to look professional. And I got some of these connectors. I'm just going to take the wires and out to hook them up so they're all waterproof and everything. Pick them up at Napa. But this way, if I ever do want to turn the top ones around, then I can always just remove that. Now, I could have wired that directly into the front lights to where when I turned them on, the rear light would always be on. But there again, I'm not sure if I want that light on all the time. And if I flip these around, then that's not going to be needed anyway. So let me quit talking here and try to show you guys a little bit more detail on what I'm doing. All right, so I already got the wires ran through, and they're already there with the connectors on here. And then I'll run that rear work light tonight. But here's what I'm talking about, the brackets. I was going to put a piece of that aluminum angle iron here. I was going to bolt that to it, but I just think it's going to look a little too much going on, and there's going to be sharp edges. So I decided, I'm thinking about doing tonight is just mounting these here and drilling a hole in the top. And then I can slide this light up or down however I want to, and it'll give me some nice mid-mount light. So let me get finished hooking these up, and then we'll go out and see how bright it is and what it looks like. All right, I got it all done last night. I didn't really have a time to do a night test because it was pretty late. I didn't want to drive around the yard at midnight playing with lights, doing a video. But I like how they turned out. Just messing around with them in the garage. It's adding a lot of light. Like I said, I'm not convinced yet. I might turn these around backwards so I have rear lights and front lights. But if I like the output up front, I might leave them. Some of you might be thinking, how much light do you really need? But I do a lot of brush cutting back there at night, and already since owning this tractor for 6 months, I've done a lot of things with the slip scoop and stuff at night, and having the additional front lights has made it really nice, not even for just, you know, material moving, but getting off the tractor, you know, leaving it on to see what I'm doing, to pick things up, move things, etc. So when it gets dark tonight, I'll try to show you guys as many angles and how bright they are. This is the rear light setup that I did. I just took a piece of this angle iron that's aluminum. I even used some stainless steel hardware, the Allen head bolts, so it all matches the Ventrac like they use. I think it turned out pretty good. I might cut these down, 45 these off so they're not as sharp. Took that bracket, mounted it to it, and then the light's right in the center. And like I said, I gotta secure this yet. I didn't totally secure it because I wanted to make sure, but I can always unplug this and use the 12 volt for something else. Or if I turn the other lights around, I can just totally remove this. So that cord works out real well. It matches the original Ventrac cord, so it all looks professional, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So let it get dark out and we'll do a night test. All right, I got the lights on last night, but I never really had a chance to see how they were at night. I hadn't really gotten tweaked in, so this is just going to be a first experience seeing. I put the 72-inch mower on because generally at night I'm either tough cutting or mowing grass, so that'll give me about the best judgment. The side lights, you really can't aim down. I've noticed they only aim so far, so you can't get that direct spot like on the chute in the sides how I have the rear ones now. So I left the rear ones pointed like they were. The front headlights being LED, they really project what's out in front of you. And the side ones are just gonna give you that gentle side, everything in front of you that the headlights don't. So we'll go out, I'll try to get you best angles I can, and we'll see how these turned out. pleased with having these lights on here. I'm glad that I went ahead and did this. Few things I am going to point out. If you are brush cutting at night and using the tough cut, which I still do it a lot all the time, I just enjoy cutting at night. It's a lot cooler sometimes. But having a light right here next to your face, depending on the time of year in the summertime, you will get swarmed with bugs right here. So having the lights down here lower would probably be better for that application. The other thing is I didn't show it in the video, but when I was off the tractor, I was putting my hand over these lights to cover them up to see how much light these put out. Honestly guys, anyone that wants to add front light to their Ventrac, and say you already have the rear work light kit and you like having light behind you, I think I'm going to leave all of mine facing forward. I'm not sure yet. I'll wait until I play with this some more. But honestly, these give out a lot of light right where you need it. It was perfect for mowing applications and stuff. So I think you'd probably be better off to leave these behind you for rear work lights and leave these forward. When you turn the switch on, hook it up like I did, and it gives you the best of both worlds. When you turn around and look behind you, you don't have this light in your face, especially for snow contractors or landscapers, people that cut grass and do a lot of things. You run into them late nights in the fall. I think this is a great investment. If you don't have the fold down turn signals, it may be something you might want to add to your Ventrac. I don't know. I love it. I like having lots of light at night and just being able to see what I'm doing. It was really great. So I will put in comments below, you know, how I like these, how they worked out in the summer and that kind of stuff. Fun fact, before I end this video, the headlights, all 4 roll bar lights and the rear light use around the same amps or less than the 2 stock halogen Ventrac lights. So not that this alternator can't handle it. The Z and the Y both have very high output alternators which would handle more lights, but I believe when I looked it up, 1.3 amps each for these lights, and I think the light behind me was about the same that I have on the rear. So these LED lights, you can get a lot of light out of very low amperage, and that's crucial when you're using this many lights. So plenty more videos to come on this. I am going to tough cut and do some videos of this thing in night action to let you guys see this. As always, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe, and thanks for watching.